Here are the stock headlights. As you can see, they're pretty oxidized. They're still in pretty decent condition, but I just really wanted the projector bulbs to try to do this project. So they're the stock ones. Okay, so I just removed the covers on the old headlights to expose the bulb area. So we have a low beam on the top, and then underneath this case right here is the high beam. So then I will reuse the top one and the low one, and they should fit fine with the aftermarket ones. Okay, so in the process of removing the stock headlight bulbs, there's this little ring. You can see it right there. And you have to pinch these on each side, and the ring should pop out, and the headlight will twist out. This connector, you just pull it out away from the headlight bulb itself. And then in the aftermarket ones, it does have the same kind of connection. So it should wire up just perfectly. Okay, so after pinching back those little bitty brackets, the 3 brackets, you can just grab the headlight itself, and it should just wiggle on out.
Alright, so we just painted our upper and lower grille pieces. They're originally chrome, and so with the black theme, the headlights, I kind of wanted to match it. So we're going to reinstall those right now.
Alright, so we just took the headlights off my 2006 Mini Cooper S. We've got these aftermarket headlights that have projector housings in them. We're currently trying to install LED demon eyes that are color changing. So we're testing out the LEDs now with a 9-volt battery. We have it all hooked up with the controller and the M7 remote.
There we go.
And those should fit inside the projector housings. We're going to cut it off and test it in there to see where to mount it exactly inside the projector. We're going to bake up the housings in the oven and paint it. We'll do the shrouds like red and black out the rest of the inside. And we're also painting a little bit of the trim to black out the Mini Cooper as well. Okay, so we're currently trying to mock up the LEDs to figure out how we want it, where you can't see the bulbs themselves, but they still give out the best amount of light output. And so we're currently have them wrapped around the housing. Next, we're going to try on the inside ring of the housing.
Alright, so we decided that we're going to mount it on the inside of these brackets and wrap it around the inside. Because when you look down the center, you can't really see any LEDs unless you're from the side, but
You will not be able to see it from the side because it sits in the headlight. So we're going to mount it just like this, and that'll probably give the most color and keep it away from the headlight itself. So it won't get too hot in the mount.
Okay, there's a black trim ring, all of this, you can see one right there. There's little clips along the sides that all just, you can use your finger and they just snap off. So once both trim rings are off, you can start heating it up, and then this will become much more pliable, and then we can pull the lens off to get to the projectors. Alright, so we're going to put these headlights in here with the plastic touching the metal because you don't want to melt your lens at 250 for about 10 minutes or so to start, and they'll be pretty hot when you take them out, but it'll make this beautiful sealant pliable so you can pull it apart. Alright, so these are the RGB controller cords, so this is about where the headlight will be, so we're going to run it pretty much where the stock wiring on this is, so measure it out, kind of follow the path of where the other one was, and we'll run it down through here. And then we're going to mount our controller right here, so this wire just has to stretch just enough to make it into here where the splitters will be connecting to the controller. So these are going to be very hot when they come out. So this just takes a little while to get, it takes multiple times reheating. But if you feel it, you can feel the butyl seal start to give way. There's also little clips where you can kind of see the sealant coming out. Sometimes there's little clips that you have to just push in ever so slightly for the actual lens to pop out. Oh, here it goes.
There it goes, yeah.
Okay, so you can see the butyl start to separate. It's kind of critical because you don't want to get it inside your lens. If you just kind of take it and just stick it back onto itself. So you just take these strands and you can push them together and just stick it back onto this outside of the lens. Do that for both sides. It helps so much because then you don't get anything on the inside. But this shroud piece, it has little clips, but it's not really clipped into anything. So you can just pull, you can see where the butyl's all around the clip parts. But same type of thing, you just want to peel all these strands back. Alright, so to get the inside housing out, what you have to do is there's an adjustment screw here and here, back out the housing. So you want to push the housing forward as much as you can to get access to the screws because they're so just far in there. Alright, and then once you have them backed out all the way, you can take a screwdriver in here, which probably won't be able to show you, but there's 3 screws and they're all at an angle, so you have to be really careful. You can probably see it from the top. But the screwdriver, you just don't want to strip these out basically. So now we're going to take this side out. So there's number 2. Your housing releases. Just watch out for the wires so you don't bend any of your hooks. These hold your headlights, actually, the bulbs into the housings. Okay, so to pop out this plastic shroud, which is what these are, we don't want to paint that. So what we're going to do here is there'll be 3 screws here to remove, and once you pop those out, it's kind of just snapped into place, and it pops right out. Alright, so all we're doing here is we're connecting the RGB LEDs to an extension wire so that way we can run it to where we want it to. Alright, so we got all the strips connected and we just used the 4-color wire, and then we had to solder the little 4-pin headers in so they could connect to the splitter that connects to the controller in the end. Alright, so we mounted the controller box to the back of this panel with just some Velcro tape. So we have our negative mounted right there, it goes under all this, so it's really out of the way and really clean, and then our positive wire runs behind all of this and feeds right down to the battery post. So it's minimal wires and it looks super clean, and then this just stays back here.
Cool. Alright, we're here in the secret paint booth. We're going to shroud on the other side of the headlights. Wanting to paint all the chrome black, and then I'm going to paint the shroud like a racing red kind of color. That's the goal at least, so we have it all masked off. So it's ready for black. So
I'm going to put it over here. Same as we did the other ones. Shake up my hand and get it down. We'll start with the white coat, make it super easy. I'm second coat to stick to it better. So there we go. Make sure I'm getting every single little crack. There's lots of little grooves on this thing, and so I'm really wanting to get those. Go to your side. Okay.
looks good. It's a little heavier than I'd like, but it'll work good for now. So all that'll be black, and then that top center shroud will be a nice red color, really make it pop.